Welcome back, everyone, for another deep dive into the world of prompt engineering.
Yeah, it's great to be back.
Now, today we're tackling a technique that I think is really going to change how effectively you can use AI in your work.
It's called domain-specific prompting, and honestly, it's a game changer.
So tell me more about that.
Right.
What exactly is domain-specific prompting and why is it so important?
Well, it's all about tailoring your prompts to the specific language and context of a certain field.
Okay, so it's not just about using the right buzzwords, but really understanding the deeper nuances of that field, like a doctor would for healthcare or a financial analyst for the stock market.
You got it. And by doing that, you're basically giving the AI insider knowledge so it can actually speak the language.
And that's what unlocks those super precise and powerful responses, right?
Exactly. Instead of just getting generic surface-level answers, you're guiding the AI to tap into a much deeper well of knowledge.
Can you give us an example? Like, how would a simple tweak in a prompt make a difference?
Sure. Let's say you're a doctor and you need information about a patient's headaches.
A general prompt like, what are the common symptoms of a headache, will give you a very basic answer.
Right.
But what if you refine it to, what are the potential neurological causes of persistent headaches in a patient with a history of migraines?
Oh, I see. You're speaking the AI's language now.
Exactly. And that's what George Tome emphasizes in his book, Generative AI Professional Prompt Engineering Guide.
It's about specificity, guiding the AI away from those generic responses and towards insights that are actually aligned with industry standards and specialized knowledge.
It's not just about getting an answer. It's about getting the right answer, one that's actually useful in a professional setting.
So you're saying domain-specific prompting isn't just about accuracy, it's also about efficiency.
Exactly. When the AI understands the nuances of your field, it can process information much faster.
So you get quicker results and fewer of those irrelevant outputs that can sometimes clog up the works.
Precisely. And that's huge in a fast-paced world where everyone is trying to do more with less.
Absolutely. So time saved is just as valuable as information gained right. 100%. And think about the impact this can have when applied across an entire organization.
You could be streamlining workflows, automating complex processes, and gaining insights that were previously hidden within mountains of data.
You're essentially giving your entire team a superpower.
Okay, let's get into some specifics. You mentioned healthcare, but what about finance? Give us a prompt that a financial analyst might use to get a more precise and actionable response.
Let's say you're analyzing a company's growth potential.
Okay.
Now, a generic prompt like, tell me about this company's performance, will only get you surface-level stuff.
Yeah, that's not going to cut it for a serious analysis.
But a domain-specific prompt like, analyze this company's revenue growth over the past 5 years, factoring in industry trends, competitor analysis, and potential risks, will give you much richer and more insightful data.
Wow. So you're not just asking for a snapshot. You're instructing the AI to conduct a thorough analysis that considers multiple factors and potential scenarios.
It's like having a whole team of financial analysts working behind the scenes, powered by the AI's ability to process tons of data and pinpoint key trends.
Okay, what about education? We have a lot of teachers in our audience. I bet they'd love to know how they can use this in their classrooms.
Oh, absolutely. A teacher could use a prompt like, create a lesson plan on the American Revolution that incorporates primary source documents, interactive activities, and assessment strategies aligned with state standards.
Okay, so instead of getting just a basic history lesson, the AI is essentially creating a fully developed and customized learning experience tailored to specific goals.
Right, and the beauty of this is that it's adaptable to any field. Whether you're a lawyer drafting a contract, a marketer crafting a campaign, or an engineer designing a new product, this technique unlocks the AI's potential in ways we never thought possible.
This is all super exciting.
Yeah.
But you know, AI is constantly evolving. You can't possibly be an expert in every single niche field, right?
Yeah, that's a good point. And it's important to acknowledge AI's limitations. Even with continuous learning, there will be gaps, outdated information, and areas where it struggles to keep up.
So how do we address that? Do we just accept those limitations, or are there techniques to guide the AI toward a more complete and accurate understanding?
That's a question we'll explore further in part 2 of this episode. We'll dive into strategies for refining those prompts, addressing the limitations, and maximizing the effectiveness of domain-specific prompting.
Well, it sounds like we've got a lot more to cover.
Yeah.
But before we move on, I want to hear from our listeners. If you've ever experienced the frustration of an AI hitting its knowledge limits, tell us about it. Share your stories in the comments and let's learn from each other.
Yeah, your insights are super valuable to this community. We can all benefit from sharing our successes and challenges as we navigate this new world of AI.
Okay, so we've laid the foundation for domain-specific prompting, showcased its power and potential across different fields.
And in part 2, we'll delve into the how-to, giving you practical techniques to craft those hyper-focused prompts that really unlock the full potential of AI in your chosen domain.
Sounds good. We'll see you back here soon for part 2.
Stay tuned.
Until then, happy prompting.
Welcome back to the deep dive. We're picking up where we left off, exploring the exciting world of domain-specific prompting.
All right, so last time we talked about the what. Now let's get into the how.
Exactly. How do we actually craft those laser-focused prompts that get the most out of AI?
That's the million-dollar question.
Well, the key is to think like an expert in the field you're working with.
Okay, so if I'm in finance, I need to think like a financial analyst. If I'm in healthcare, I need to think like a doctor.
Precisely. What
Yeah.
kind of information do they care about? What terms and metrics are crucial to their decision-making? It's not just about knowing the jargon, it's about understanding the logic behind it.
So it's like putting on the AI's thinking cap, aligning it with how professionals in that field approach problems.
And once you've got that mindset, you can start crafting prompts that actually guide the AI towards the most relevant insights.
Okay, let's try that. Let's say I'm in healthcare and I want to use AI to personalize treatment plans for patients. How can I make my prompts super effective?
One powerful technique is to use examples. Imagine you're asking the AI to generate a care plan for a patient with diabetes. You could actually include an example of a well-structured care plan in your prompt.
So it's like giving the AI a model to work with, a blueprint that shows it the level of detail, the key elements, and the overall structure I'm aiming for.
Exactly. And the Generative AI Professional Prompt Engineering Guide emphasizes this. Providing clear examples sets a high bar for the AI's output.
What about constraints? We talked about AI limitations in part 1. How do we use constraints to keep the AI focused and accurate, especially when we know its knowledge might not be perfect?
Constraints are like guardrails. They prevent the AI from going off track. Let's say you need a concise summary of recent cancer research, but you specifically want it to focus on immunotherapy breakthroughs.
So I would tell the AI, stick to immunotherapy. Exclude other areas of cancer research.
Right, and you can be even more specific. Maybe you want it to be under 300 words, or to focus on trials from the last 2 years.
It's all about setting clear boundaries, giving the AI specific parameters to work within.
And that helps mitigate those knowledge gaps. By narrowing the focus, we're guiding the AI to where its information is more likely to be accurate and up-to-date.
Okay, so we've got examples and constraints. Any other techniques we should know?
One that often gets overlooked is feedback. Don't just accept the AI's output. Engage with it. Provide feedback, guide its learning.
Oh, interesting. So it's like having a conversation with the AI. We're not just giving instructions, we're responding to its output and helping it improve.
Precisely. Let's say the AI creates a marketing campaign that misses a key demographic.
Oh, yeah.
Don't just scrap it. Give feedback. Point out the missing element. Explain why it's important.
We're like mentors to the AI, helping it learn and grow.
And the more feedback we give, the better it gets at meeting our needs.
This is great stuff. Now I want to hear from our listeners. Have you tried these techniques? What challenges or successes have you had? Tell us in the comments. We're all in this together.
Absolutely. We can learn so much from each other's experiences.
So any final thoughts as we continue on this domain-specific prompting journey?
Remember to experiment. Don't be afraid to try different approaches and see what works best for your field. There's no one-size-fits-all solution.
So it's all about constantly tweaking and refining our prompts as we learn and grow.
Exactly. And as we go deeper into domain-specific prompting, we'll discover even more advanced techniques and strategies for achieving truly amazing results.
And we're back for the final part of our deep dive into domain-specific prompting. We've covered the basics, the how-to, and even some of those tricky limitations. So now let's step into the real world and see how this is actually being used across different industries.
It's really incredible to see how this simple shift in how we talk to AI is already transforming so much.
Yeah, and we've got some great examples to share. Let's start with an area that involves a lot of complex language, legal tech.
Legal tech is ripe for disruption. Think about all those hours lawyers spend reviewing contracts, researching, making sure everything is perfect. AI with domain-specific prompting is changing all that.
Okay, so give me a real-world example. How could a lawyer use this to streamline their work and get better results for their clients?
Imagine a lawyer who specializes in intellectual property and they're given a really complex licensing agreement.
Okay.
Instead of going through it manually page by page, they could use a prompt like, analyze this agreement for potential risks related to patent infringement, clearly outlining any clauses that could lead to future disputes.
So instead of just a general summary, the AI is acting like a super specialized legal assistant, zeroing in on the exact areas that need that lawyer's expertise.
Exactly. It's not replacing the lawyer's judgment. It's more like giving them a powerful tool to work faster and smarter.
I see. So it's about augmenting their capabilities, freeing them up to focus on the things that really matter.
Right. And this kind of technology, I think, is also making a huge impact on customer service.
Oh, yeah, for sure. AI-powered chatbots are becoming more and more common. But I bet domain-specific training is what really takes them to the next level.
Absolutely. Think about a company like an online retailer that wants to improve their customer support experience.
So instead of just those generic answers or links to FAQs, they could create something much more helpful and personalized.
Exactly. They could train the chatbot on their product catalog, customer service policies, shipping info, everything. A customer could ask, "Where's my order? It was supposed to be here yesterday." And the chatbot would not only track it, but also understand about potential delays and maybe even offer a discount.
Wow, that's going above and beyond.
And it's all because the AI has been trained specifically on the domain of that business.
Okay, we've got legal tech, customer service. What other industries are we seeing this in?
E-commerce is another big one. AI is already used for personalized recommendations, but with domain-specific prompting, we can go even further. Imagine a fashion retailer creating a truly custom shopping experience.
So instead of just showing me what's popular, it would actually understand my style, my preferences, even my budget.
Exactly. The AI could analyze past purchases, browsing history, social media, and use that to curate a selection that really fits your taste, making shopping more enjoyable and efficient.
It's like having a personal stylist in my pocket. This is amazing. And it highlights something really important about domain-specific prompting. It's not just about efficiency and accuracy. It's about creating more personalized and meaningful experiences.
Absolutely. Whether it's healthcare, finance, law, anything.
Yeah.
This technique lets us harness AI in a way that really serves those specific needs and nuances.
And I think that's a great takeaway for our listeners. As you experiment with domain-specific prompting, think beyond the immediate tasks. How can you use this to boost creativity, spark innovation, and even make things better for people?
As AI becomes more and more a part of our lives, I think it's crucial that we guide it in a direction that benefits everyone.
Well said. So that wraps up our deep dive into domain-specific prompting. We've covered a ton from the basics to real-world uses and even a glimpse into the future of this amazing technology.
We hope you've learned a lot and are excited to start using these techniques in your own work and life.
And don't forget, you can find more in-depth info in Generative AI Professional Prompt Engineering Guide by George Tome.
And please share your own experiences, challenges, and successes with the community. We're all on this journey together, and your insights are so valuable.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us. Until next time, happy prompting.